Do you remember the reincarnation lottery game that went viral this year? That simple little game got tons of people hooked, drawing cards to see where they'd be born in their next life. Today, we're going to introduce what may be the least suitable place to be reborn, not only in 2025, but possibly in the past decade. Gaza. We might know that Israel bombs Gaza, but has anyone really talked about just how miserable life there is? Or why, in a world full of conflicts, Gaza is the one place that looks and feels like hell? If deserts can be turned into oases, can we ever find a way to turn this purgatory into a paradise? When you hear Gaza, some people think it's just a war zone. But in reality, it's more like a giant open-air prison. There's no airport, no seaport. Three sides are blockaded by Israel, and the other side, Egypt, keeps strict controls. You can't even leave to see the outside world. According to the UN, 97% of Gaza's drinking water is unsafe, leaving people with no choice but to drink chemically treated salty water. On average, there's less than 5 hours of electricity per day. Imagine lighting your home at night with a phone flashlight, or rushing to bathe your child the moment the power comes back on. The medical system has already collapsed. A handful of hospitals are barely hanging on, but once conflict breaks out, emergency rooms overflow instantly. Outdated equipment, medicine shortages, and surgeries cancelled due to power outages are daily realities. As for education, some schools cram in 3 classes at once, and sometimes get converted into shelters instead. And if you thought this already sounded awful, no. That was Gaza before 2025. After Israel's relentless and prolonged assaults, Gaza now is unimaginable. Reports say 92% of homes, 70% of buildings, and 80% of roads are destroyed. Farmlands, wells, and greenhouses are nearly wiped out. Gaza today is a wasteland. No water, no power, no food, and no shelter. This all began with Hamas' surprise attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. Killing 1,200 people and taking 250 hostage. Israel's retaliation has since killed over 60,000 Palestinians. For Gaza's children, the future isn't even a dream, because they don't even have the right to dream. For them, the most extravagant dream is simply staying alive. In international news, we often hear the name Hamas. But what exactly is it, and why does it control Gaza? Hamas, short for the Islamic Resistance Movement, was founded in 1987 during the First Intifada. At first, it was both a Muslim charity and a resistance group opposing Israeli occupation. In 2006, Hamas ran in the Palestinian legislative elections, and won. The following year, after a civil war with Fatah in the West Bank, Hamas took full control of Gaza. For supporters, Hamas is a symbol of resistance against Israeli oppression, while also providing schools, clinics, and social welfare. But to the US, the EU, and most Western countries, Hamas is a terrorist organization, responsible for rocket fire, suicide bombings, and kidnappings. Its dual role, as both an elected government and an armed group, has made Gaza's political situation far more complicated, giving Israel justification to continue its siege under the banner of counterterrorism. You might be wondering, didn't Israel already withdraw from Gaza? Yes. Back in 2005 they did remove their troops and settlers, but in practice, Gaza's borders, airspace, and coastline all remain under Israeli control. Why? Security reasons. Israel argues that Hamas keeps launching rockets and digging tunnels for attacks, and without strict blockades, their cities would be bombed. In August 2025, Prime Minister Netanyahu openly said on US television, "We intend to take over Gaza, not to govern it, but to establish a security buffer zone. In short, we don't want to live inside, but we need someone standing guard at the door." But this position has raised doubts. Reports suggest even Israel's own military isn't eager to expand the war, since taking over Gaza would mean long-term military commitments and potential quagmires. Meanwhile, polls show most Israelis prefer ending the war with a deal to bring hostages home. They're exhausted. So why is Netanyahu staying so hardline? One theory, because of his corruption trial. Some believe this war conveniently diverts attention. The longer it drags on, the less political pressure he faces. This war isn't just Hamas versus Israel. It's also about votes, security, political maneuvering, and even courtroom indictments. In Gaza, air raids and drones are part of daily life. Wars erupt almost every few years. 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, 2023, and now since October 2023. Each conflict kills hundreds or thousands and destroys homes. For civilians, war isn't just news. It's a repeating cycle of survival. Amid rubble. The UN warns Israel's full takeover of Gaza risks massive displacement and destruction. Some countries, like Australia, are moving to recognize Palestine, but Palestinians still face famine and blockade. A flotilla carrying supplies was intercepted, and 26 foreign ministers demand access and protection for civilians. Globally, the response splits between backing Palestine, pushing for aid, or quietly supporting Israel. Does Gaza have a future? Yes, but only if multiple sides act. Two-state talks have stalled for decades, alternative solutions face rejection, and while the world debates, Gazans lack water, power, and hospitals. Gaza isn't just a battlefield, it's home to 2 million people who still have to survive.